Hi friends and subscribers, this is Mehmood Sheikh, and from past few videos I am working on developing a CRUD application using PHP and MySQL server. Okay, so in my last video I completed the functionality of authenticating a user. Okay, so I completed developing a login system, and in this video I will try to cover this setting option. Okay, the way whatever you saw here, whenever user click on this drop down, I'm getting this register because right now I'm on my login. Okay, so if I'll be in my register page, then at that time I'll be getting login if I click on this drop down. Okay, so I can now I'm going to develop the functionality with the help of which I can move between login and register pages. Okay, so now and after that I will try to make our pages secure, so that okay, now if right now I'm not logged in and I'm on my login page. Okay, so if I try to access to dashboard from the URL, then I'll be easily redirected to home page, okay, or my dashboard. Okay, so but it should not be done. Okay, and now I'm in my dashboard. If the user gets logged in, and now if I try to type login, then I should not redirect to login page, but now it's not working like that. Okay, so we need to avoid that. We need to make our URL secure. Okay, so now before starting, I would just like to request you guys to watch my all previous videos that I have uploaded already on my channel, because if you watch all the videos in this playlist series, then only you will be understanding better. Okay, you will understand each and everything what we have covered in our last video. Okay, so it will be easier for you to understand. Okay, so now let's okay, here you can see there is a text called as settings. At this place I want to display button like this. Okay, so that when I click on that I can get register and login depending on the pages. Okay, so now let's come to our editor, and here this is my header.php file. Okay, and here inside this two column, I need to create a div with a class of btn group. Okay, and then need to create an e tag. Okay, and then class btn primary. Okay, and that should be settings. Okay, and then I need to create another link. Okay, and then class, okay, same class. Okay, and now drop down toggle. Okay, so now this button, whatever I have created here, this button indicates this button. Okay, so settings, whatever label you can see on the button, that section I have created as a link here. Okay, this one. Okay, and this one is for this drop down. Okay, okay, now let's come here on toggle and then data toggle drop down, then area expanded. All these classes are from bootstrap css and bootstrap js classes. Okay, and equals to false. Okay, and then span class caret. Okay, so whatever drop down you people are able to see here, that indicates the caret. Okay, so now okay, now our drop down link is completed. Okay, now we need to create a UL for displaying our items. Class drop down menu, or save it. Okay, now let's refresh. Okay, now you can see I'm able to see the buttons. Now let's come here Okay, let's make it as default. Okay, and here I need to put some margin at the top of 8 pixel. Okay, style. Okay, some inline styling. Okay, now you can see settings and drop down is displaying. Okay, so here we need to put our add post, dashboard, okay, add profile and logout options. So now let's come here. Inside our UL we need to create a list li. Okay, then dashboard, copy, then add profile. Okay, and this one is for add post, and this one is logout. Okay, now let's see. Okay, let's style and color them as black. Copy. Okay, now it's displaying all the list items. Okay, so now this is how we can create the items. Okay, so we need to put those items inside our a tag. Okay, a and then href. Okay, and then okay, so here href should be dashboard.php. so let's just copy this. Okay, now save it. Let's refresh. Okay, now it's displaying dashboard. Okay, so now let's change it to add profile, then add post, and then logout, and it should be logout.php. Okay, now let's refresh. Okay, so here you can see these links should get displayed to the user when the user gets logged in. Okay, so right now, just for time being, I have put these links here inside this drop down, but this dashboard, add profile, add post, and all these should display when the user gets logged in. Okay, so when the user didn't get logged in, he should see register and login page. Register and login. Okay, now let's refresh. Okay, see, register and login links are displaying. Okay, now let's come here. Okay, so here at the top, PHP. Okay, we need to also. Okay, so based on the URL, okay, based on this URL, whenever the URL is our project name /login.php, I should be displaying login page. Okay, whenever the URL is index.php, at that time I will get register user page. Okay, so based on the URL, I need to change the view. Okay, so for that I need to get the access to this URL. Okay, so for getting the access to this URL, I should use PHP global variables. Okay, so now let's login URL goes to http:// okay, for colon / and to this I will concatenate our our server variable and server name, okay, and then to this I will again concatenate with PHP self. Okay, now let's try. Okay, so this should be okay. Just cut it and paste it here. Okay, so now let's delete this. Okay, now let's try to print. So let's see what output we'll get with these server variables or global variables. Okay, so now let's after this exit. Okay, let's save it, cut it out and put it here after the name. Okay, save it. Okay, now it's displaying it's returning 127.0.0.1/PHP blog, which is our project, and the index.php. okay, so this index.php is the page, is the name of the page which we are currently in. Okay, so now let's cut it out, okay, and then echo. Okay, now let's echo br. Okay, now let's see. Okay, so now this $server name returns us the name of the server. Okay, the server which we are currently using is local server. Okay, so that is this local server 127.0.0.1 will return from this, and PHP self will return us this project and then index.php. okay, suppose I am on my login page, then it will return us server name, same server name, and the self, okay, PHP self or project name, and the file that we are currently in will get different. Okay, so based on that we'll be changing the view. Based on the URL we will be changing the view. Okay, so now let's reverse it. Okay, save it. Now you can see, now I have combined those two statements, and this is what we got. So if I go to index.php, right now I am on my login, that's why it's displaying login.php. if I try to go to index.php, it will display index.php. okay, so we need to use this URL to move between our index and login page. Okay, so now let's cut this and put it here. Okay, so let's now we need to make an if condition. If if our login URL is equals to I'll just copy this and I will put it here. Okay, if right now if I am on my index.php page, which is the registration page, then I should display this login. Okay, I'll just cut, I will put it here. Okay, in else, if my login URL is different. That means if the login URL is login.php, if I am on my login, then I should display this register link. Okay, so I'll just end if. Okay, save it. Okay, now let's comment all this. We will use them after some time. Okay, now let's refresh. Okay, now I'm on my index page, that is registration page. If I click on this drop down arrow, I'm getting only login. Okay, so now let's go to our login page, and right now I'm in my login page. If I click on this, I will get this register link. Okay, so now let's move this. Let's refresh. Okay, now I'm in my login page, so it's displaying register. So if I click on this, okay, so let's see whether I have set the links or not. Okay, so for login it should be login.php, and for register it should be index.php. okay, now save it and refresh. Okay, now if I click on this register, because now I am in my login, so I want to go to register page. So now you can see if I click on register, I redirected to register page. Okay, now I am on my registration page, and if I want to go to login, I just have to click on login, then I will be redirected to login page. Okay, so this is how we can display or move between registration and login page. Okay, so now we have completed that functionality, but now we are left with securing our URLs. Okay, so now I have not logged in, so still I'll be able to access my dashboard. See, still I'm able to access my dashboard. Okay, so before that, okay, so let's come here. Okay, so to solve that problem, we need to go to our dashboard page. Okay, here. Okay, so here at the beginning we need to validate, we need to set some conditions. If the session is active, if the username is set, that at that time I can allow the user to access, I can allow to see dashboard. Otherwise I will redirect the user to login page. Okay, so for that I will just come here at the top. Okay, here I need to put some condition. If I need to put a condition, if our session username, okay, if the username is set, then if the username is not set, that means right now user has not logged in else. Okay, else, and then okay, sorry, and if. Okay, so now I'm checking that suppose the user is not logged in. Okay, if the user is not logged in and still the user tries to access the dashboard using the URL, at that time I should redirect that user to login page. Okay, login.php. okay, otherwise in else part the user gets logged in. Okay, so if the user gets logged in, then I should redirect to that user to see the dashboard. Okay, so now what I will do, I will just refresh. Okay, now let's try to access dashboard. Okay, so still it's allowing the users to access the dashboard. Okay, so now okay, so it's behaving like this. Maybe the session is active, so now we need to close the session. Okay, so first let's create a file with a name called as logout. Okay, logout.php. okay, in that file, okay, we need to start the session. Session start, okay, and then destroy. Okay, we need to destroy the session, and then we need to redirect the user to login.php. okay, so now, okay, so let's log out the session first. Logout.php. okay, now let's try to access the dashboard. Okay, now I'm not logged in, so now let's see what will happen. Okay, see, still now I'm trying to access the dashboard, but it's not allowing me to do so because I'm not logged in, because the session is not active, because the username which is stored inside the session is not active. That's why it's not allowing me to enter into the dashboard view. Okay, so now okay, now let's try to log in. Okay, just copy this and I will just log in. And okay, so now you can see it has allowed me to log in because I have used my username and password to log in. Okay, so now from here, if I now I'm logged in, so if I tries to go back to login from the URL, it should not allow me to go back to login. Instead of that, it should redirect me to the dashboard only, but it will not do that. If I enter, it will take me to the login page. Okay, so because we need to set the same kind of validations in our login page as well. Okay, so we need to check based on the session active or not. We can redirect to some appropriate place. Okay, so we should go to login.php here. Okay, we need to put the same condition what we had written for our dashboard. I'll just copy this and I will put it here. Okay, here we need to check if the session is active. Okay, if the username that means if the user has logged in, if the session is active, then we will redirect the user to dashboard. Okay, so I will not allow the user to go back to the login if the session is active. Okay, so otherwise, if the session is not active, that means if the user is not logged in, then I will redirect that user to login page. Okay, so now let's refresh. See, now it has redirected me to dashboard.php because the session is active right now. Okay, so now if I try, since the session is active, that means the user is logged in. Now from here, if I try to go back to login using URL, it will not allow me to do that because I have set the condition here inside my login.php, because I am the session is set, the user is logged in. That's why it will not redirect the user to login page. Instead of that, it will keep the user in dashboard only. Okay, so now I need to display logout page based on the logged in and logged out. Okay, so right now the user is logged in, so I should display logout here. Okay, so how I can do that? I can do that with the help of session, using session. Okay, so now let's come here. Okay, so based on the session, now so if the session is set, if the user is logged in, then I should display logout here. Otherwise that means the session is not active, and then at that time I should display login or register based on the view I am currently in. Okay, so now let's go to header. Okay, so now, okay, after this, okay, now let's make some changes here. Okay, so now we don't want this statement to be print here to write here. Okay, so now instead of that, okay, so if the user is on the registration page, then at that time I should display them login. Else, if the user is not in registration, that means the user is logged in. At that time I need to check if is set, if the session is active. Okay, if the username is active, then I should display dashboard. Okay, dashboard. And then okay, I'll just copy these, just cut it out from here, and then I will put it here. Okay, if or then in else part, in else this register else. Okay, I should not put okay, and then I'll just save it. Okay, now let's refresh. Okay, now let's click on see. Now I am logged in, that's why it's displaying all these links. Okay, so let's click on okay, so first for this logout. Okay, if I click on logout, then I'll redirect to login page. Okay, so but it's displaying an error, user undefined index username on line 35. Okay, login.php line 35. Okay, login.php line 35. Okay, is set. Okay, save it. Okay, now it's displaying nothing. Now let's come here to our header. Okay, and then let's just cut this and okay, let's first indent it properly. Okay, so this if starts here and then it's ended here. Okay, if here, okay, then I should display user okay, register, and here it should be index. Okay, so now if the session is set, that means if the user is logged in, then I'll be displaying these menu items, and if the user is not set, if the user is not set, that means if the session is not set, then I'll be displaying this register. Okay, so now let's refresh. Okay, so now it's displaying register because I'm on my login page. If I click on login, then it will take me to the register, and at this time it will display login. Okay, so if I click on login, it will take me to the login page. Okay, so now if I copy, if I tries to log in, okay, then login, then it will take me to the dashboard. And now if I click on this, I can see all these menu items: dashboard, add profile, add post, and logout. If I click on logout, then it will take me to the login page. Okay, so from here if I try to access my dashboard, it will not allow me to do that because the session is closed now, so it will send me back to the login page. Okay, and now if I tries to log in, okay, so it will take me to the dashboard, and from here if I tries to go to the login from the URL, and it will not allow me to do that because the session is set. We are not allowed to go back to the login page by clicking on the by typing the path in the URL. Okay, so now let's click on this logout. Okay, so now our settings options or displaying menu items in the settings gets completed successfully, and we have also made our URLs secure so that no one can access to our private data if those users are not logged in. Okay, so I hope you like this like the video. I hope you got some useful information out of this video, and if you like this video, click on like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. And I will see you guys in my next video, where I'll be discussing adding a profile. Okay, so whenever user log in, okay, whenever user log in, so the user's profile should display on the dashboard. Okay, so in the next video we'll be doing that. Okay, we will work on adding a profile of the user. Okay, so I will see you guys in my next video, and thanks for watching.